Rawr. Spiky Bits. Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and we're doing something a little different today. So, Lazy Squire Games hit me up about helping to promo their new Kickstarter for Wild Assent. It's Lavon Rising, and it's kind of like a dinosaur slash lava kind of theme. It's really cool looking, and I'll be honest, I didn't know much about it. And for me, I'm more about miniatures. Like, board games are cool, and I don't have a lot of time to play board games. You all know that, but the devil is always in the detail. And we had done some stuff for their Stormsunder campaign, which is going to be fulfilled next year. But they got us the prototype minis for that campaign. They're great looking. I got a dozen of them, so right here, and we actually painted one up to show you just what you can do with these things and how dope they really are. But fast forward to today, and why I'm on here is because their Kickstarter is actually starting in a few days, which I'm about to show you. And next week on June 29th. So what's really cool about it is, I was like, all right, well, what's the point here? What do you need promo? And they're like, well, we got dope minis. I'm like, count me in. I like dope minis. What else you got? And they're like, well, we're redoing this Kickstarter. And I'm like, well, what was wrong with the first one? And they're like, well, we're changing up the minis. Now all of the minis can be in this better quality, and all the backers from the original campaign back in 2018 now will get this at 50% off. And I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, 50% off if you pledge the new expansion. And I'm like, that's dope value. I like dope value because it's 2021, and I talk about this all the time when it comes to another company, is it's all about providing a better value for everyone out there, because things are so rough right now. Everything costs so much more, that if you provide a solid value for people, they're going to keep coming back. And, as I show you these things today, which I'm super impressed with Wild Assent. I don't play a lot of board games, but this thing is really laid out well, really presented well, from the art to the minis. I even like the old minis, but the new ones are definitely going to be dope. To just the packaging and the token tray is like super, super dope. So let's jump right into it. I've talked enough. I've built it up enough. I'm impressed. Let me show you why I'm impressed and why perhaps you should go and pledge them super soon. So here's the previous campaign for Wild Assent that a lot of people pledged. It did very, very well a few years back, and then they've updated it to basically explain exactly what I just said. If you pledge this in the past, you're going to get the new version of the game with all the new dope minis for basically 50% off. Whether you did it on a Kickstarter or a late pledge, basically same thing. And then a link to the new Kickstarter right here, which is super dope value. And here's the campaign page. Of course, I will put a link to this so you can check it out whenever you want. But here is the new expansion right here, and some of the new miniatures that are coming out for this. I like how they have like the tokens that actually interact with the terrain pieces here, depending on what's going on. I don't exactly know. It's like a decision-based narrative from what they told me. So I love choose your own adventure. Like, no two games will be the same, right? Which is pretty cool. And some of these miniatures, you can of course use them in the other three, well, the base game and the other two expansions that they've already done. But I mean, look at all the fresh art, look at all the fresh components and everything like that. That's the stuff that board gamers crack out to, and I get it. Playing a little Marvel Crisis Protocol lately, it's all about the tokens and how you store them and everything like that. And then here's kind of the layout and the map, and they have the previous one right here, which looks to have new art on the box cover, and I love their art, and I'm going to show you that when I unbox their stuff here in a second. But I just wanted to show you this is up. You can check it out right now. If it isn't live, you can still check out the preview. And let's go take a look at the minis, the new minis. I'll show you what they look like in their pictures, and then I'll show you what they look like in real life. Here's Stormsunder. We talked about this in the past. I did a video on it. They've just updated it. They got the prototypes. Here they are. They're not a unicast. They're like a PVC, a hard PVC plastic. It's not, it's good quality stuff. You can kind of tell in the picture that they're nice and crisp. There's not a whole lot of give to the parts. You don't have wavy components and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, it is PVC. There is going to be a little bit of give to some of the components at some points, but I will show you literally what they sent me, especially this guy right here. And then they have like some kind of pre-painted versions of it too, which I thought were pretty cool looking. And, in kind of like a statue kind of bronze sort of format. But here you can see this is exactly what they're going to do for the new Wild Assent. So here's the base game that they've fulfilled. Everything's out to everyone. far as I can tell from the updates, and they're asking, hey, if you got messed up games or need extra parts, you know, go ahead and contact them. So here's all the arena rulebook, you know, all the documentation right there. Now this was the first thing I noticed. Like, check out this dice tray. Like, this is, or component trays. It's got dice, but it's got room for all your cards, all your tokens, and everything like that. Like, you don't see this a lot, and it's pretty good quality. Like, as long as you keep it in this this square box right here, it'll just be fine. And then here's some of the models here, the unicast stuff, and I'll show you a close-up of that here in a second, with a nice hard bottom there. And then here's all the token packets and everything like that you saw in the artwork page. That's just, you know, this is what everybody cracks out to. Super crisp, nice, hot designs, very poppy, very almost like it's definitely a pronounced style, the game boards and all the things like that. So it's all in here, ready to go. And then of course you can pop it out and sort it into those trays. And here's some of those unicast characters that were included in the base game right there. So you've got this guy and this guy here, Dwarf Duder. And you can see, you know, sometimes the unicast stuff gets a little separate. You know, it's separate. It is what it is. It's a good material. It's definitely paintable and primable and things like that. You won't have any problems with it or anything. But it really comes down to a size issue. And, you know, it's really kind of, it puts a lot of constraints, I guess, on miniature design and construction, so to speak. But then here, let me get something that's comparable. Yeah, I guess that's kind of comparable. Like, so here's one of the Stormsunder minis in their new PVC, and you can see it's nice and straight, very crisp detail, almost crisper detail if I had to guess. Very similar style. Now, this is probably the smallest miniature, demo miniature that they sent over, but I mean, it's a lot stronger material. This is more of a, you know, it's more of a resiny type deal than a stronger material here, but you can definitely prime it and work with it a lot. And then here's some of the other miniatures they sent, and they are just crisp. Look at all that detail right there. All sorts of room for activities. I love these minis. Like, and here's the Anubis looking dude from the images there on their website. Crazy arm man, very, very fresh. And then this Orion kind of looking druid dude. Stuff is just great. And even the bases are very well done. Like, you can, you know, you got elements to rock and some wood and stuff. And then lots more of these guys. A couple of them. There's so many to show, but you've seen them. They're definitely the same quality as those pictures right there. So I'm loving that for sure. So I think, you know, being able to get that at that discounted price, if you were already a backer, and then have, you know, have everything basically redone is pretty cool. Now, I was able to, and they come with these like really cool art cards, at least in the preview boxes and things, a little story on the back for Stormsunder. Now, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to translate, if at all, to Wild Assent. But, and then here's the one we painted up. I believe this guy's name is Jaden. We painted him up here in the studio, and he just pops. Goes together, super easy to prime black, you know, just paint it up. A couple coats here and there, some nice dry brushing on the wings there. Great looking gold. Some MC Hammer parachute pants in red down here. Some flaming sword action. Nice crisp details on the face. Very easy to make out. I mean, I think these minis look great, and they're very detailed. You know, you can do a lot with it. The sword towards the end kind of bends just a little bit, but it's not like flimsy or floppy or anything like that. I think it's just maybe, I don't know. It's not a deal breaker for me. But that was the only one that even had any parts. I mean, all these swords are super straight, super nice. Like, I don't even know. I think that's just a fluke, to be quite honest. But it just so happened. And I thought this was the most dynamic looking one to paint up. So I was definitely all about that right there. Oh, and I wanted to show you one more before we got out of here. This is some crazy looking bear mount lion thing with a little rider on top that I just, you know, the scale of it is just insane when you compare it to some of the stuff, the unicast stuff that they had. Just incredible, and I'm sure he will paint up great as well. Remember, these are the Stormsunder ones, but they're going to make all the new Wild Assent expansion and the older ones as well out of that same material. So, me personally, I think this game is going to be dope. It's definitely worth backing, especially if you did the first game, so you can get all the new minis in the great looking material, and then of course the new expansion as well. Just, you know, great value, great design. I mean, they even have this art book I didn't really get into, but the artwork is just amazing looking, and they obviously have an eye on detail, an eye on production, and it's really refreshing to see in this this crowded Kickstarter environment these days. So I can't wait to see these miniatures, this quality miniature come in this game right here, and all the cool little lava monsters and triceratops looking things that are sure to be a hit when this goes live here soon. So that's it for this one. Hey, if you wanna pledge, if this is your bag, definitely hit that link, go over there and sign up for this project here. Thank you very much for watching this video, and you know, be sure to hit that notifications bell so you can you know, keep up with all our latest and greatest videos here on the YouTubes as well.